I'm finally making a Marvel Cinematic Universe video, and I'm not even wearing my Captain America shirt. To be fair though, I'm actually wearing this Avengers Assemble bracelet, which I got from my friend Caitlin, like years ago. Maybe it was like her 16th or 17th birthday or something. I love the Marvel Cinematic Universe. I first watched The Avengers, which yes, that was my first Marvel movie that I watched, and it was shortly after it was made available at home, like maybe, I don't think it was Netflix, it was actually, we DVR'd it back when we had like DVR capabilities, and then we realized that's too expensive, so we switched to something else. And after I watched the first Avengers movie, I knew I had to watch whatever else was out there. I wanted to know about Iron Man and Thor and Captain America and all these other people. I would become very disappointed when I realized there was not a movie about Black Widow and Hawkeye. And at this point, I've seen every Marvel Cinematic Universe movie aside from like 2, I believe. And a lot of them I've been able to see in theaters. I think the first one I saw in theaters was Winter Soldier. That was a good time. Shout out to my friend Jonathan. He was right next to me and he had already seen it and he was just watching me the whole time to see my reactions, and there was a lot of reaction worthy parts. It was good. It was good. So shout out to you, Jonathan. To get this out of the way now, no, I don't read the comics. It's not that I'm not a fan of the stories, because I'm 100% sure that those stories are awesome. I mean, there's a reason why they turned them into movies. I mean, Stan Lee is a genius. Eternal rest grant unto him, O Lord. He's awesome. But I've just never been someone who really likes the formatting of comics. I don't know if you've ever had to read a play. You probably had to read Shakespeare in high school. It's kind of like that. I love reading plays, but you know how like the formatting of reading a play is really difficult unless you really love it. So that's how it is for me in comics. But the cinematic universe, heck yes, love it. As you can tell by the title of this video, I'm gonna go through my top 10 unpopular opinions that I personally have concerning the MCU. Before we get started, let's clarify the 3 definitions of opinion. The first definition of opinion is a belief or thought that doesn't really have any ground to stand on. It's nothing that you can say is 100% right or wrong or what have you, but you have a stronger opinion about it. An example of definition 1 of opinion is, I think movie A is way better than movie B. The focus is on I think, and you'll know what I mean when I give you the second definition. The second definition of opinion is simply personal view or taste. An example of this definition would be, I like movie A more than movie B. So rather than saying I think or I believe movie A is better than movie B in your unprofessional opinion, you're just saying I like movie A more than movie B. And this is the one that most of my opinions fall under. But there is also a third definition of opinion, and that is a professional opinion. An example might be, in my professional opinion as perhaps like a director or writer, movie A is better than movie B, but someone's personal preference could differ from their professional opinion. Are we clear? Again, I'm mainly using the second definition, which is just these are my personal tastes in these areas of the MCU. Some of these I do have a definition 1 opinion about them, but I won't really go into those because that's not the point of this video. The first unpopular opinion I have is that Hawkeye is my favorite Avenger. I have a thing for archery characters. I don't know what it is. I've never even been able to try archery. I mean, spoiler alert, my second favorite Disney princess is Merida, and I love the series of The Hunger Games. Protagonist, Katniss Everdeen, uses a bow and arrow, that's her specialty. So I love bows and arrows. I personally love his story in the cinematic universe. The fact that he's a family man and is very down to earth and he's very wise. I personally feel that he's underrated. I think he's underrated because even though he does actually kind of have a superpower in the sense that like he's very, very good with the bow and arrow. I mean, my favorite shot is that one in the Avengers where he's looking the other way and shoots perfectly. I get it, it's not really much in comparison to these other superpowers. Kind of going along with this unpopular opinion, Ant-Man would probably be like right under him. as well as Spider-Man, specifically Tom Holland's portrayal, and Captain America. I love Captain America. And before I move on to the next unpopular opinion, or the rest in general, understand that some of these preferences, I love all the Avengers. So saying like I like one more than the other is like, it's a really fine line. And you'll notice that when I get more into the opinions that are I dislike A, B, or C. It's walking a fine line because I love all of them. I love all the movies. I love all the Avengers. So to say I dislike one more than the other, that's not really saying much. My next unpopular opinion is that I love Age of Ultron. I know this movie got a lot of flack. I love all the Avenger movies. I don't think I could actually sort any of them like favorite to least favorite. Infinity War took me for a tailspin, but anyway, I really enjoyed Age of Ultron. And if you know the channel CinemaSins, which is a hilarious channel, they also have another channel called Cinema Wins. I would recommend, and I'll put a link in the description below, seeing their video on Age of Ultron. I think the narrator brings up a lot of points that I personally am like, yeah, that's what I was thinking when I was watching that movie. Or when people say that they hate that movie, I'm like, that's a strong word. Chill out, people. I love that movie. That's my personal taste, though. My next unpopular opinion is that Thor: The Dark World is my favorite of the 3 Thor movies. This one is a heavy unpopular opinion. Most people hated this movie. I loved it, mainly for the music. I felt that the music was very Thor, and I love that. And let's just go ahead and connect this with the next unpopular opinion, which is Thor Ragnarok is my least favorite of the Thor movies. Like I said earlier, saying something is my least favorite or that I dislike something, I love all 3 of the movies. It's just if I have to order them of which one I enjoy watching the most or get the most out of, yeah, Dark World will be at the top and Ragnarok will be at the bottom. I loved Ragnarok. I laughed a lot, but there were elements about it that I didn't like and didn't feel were very Thor. I know, they were going a different direction, but that's going more into definition 1 opinion, and I want to stay with definition 2. So personal taste, Thor Dark World, Thor Ragnarok. But I love all of them, so The next one concerns the Guardians of the Galaxy, specifically Volume 2. I liked that movie even more than the first one. I know that a lot of people hated the sappy family stuff, but that's what I loved about it. I mean, the first one was already funny enough, and then somehow they made the second one even funnier for me, and this is another one that I would say watch the Cinema Wins video on. I'll also put that below. The first movie was glorious, and somehow they blew me away with the second one. I did kind of like the music more from the first one, but anyway. I enjoy the mushy family stuff, you know, gets me right in all the feels, and I love that. I mean, we already had the introduction to the Guardians, so it was natural for them to go a little deeper route, whatever, if you will. But that's just my unpopular opinion. The next couple I can kind of breeze by. Vision and Wanda together? Ew. Banner and Natasha? No. Don't even get me started on the non-canon ships, such as, you know, like fan fiction and things like that. Those are even worse. Although I think the Vision Wanda one most people agree with me on, but that could just be my circle of friends. But anyway, in my unpopular opinion, stop putting Vision and Wanda together. Stop putting Banner and Natasha together. I just don't like it. Yeah. Sticking with definition 2. My personal taste, I don't like those ships. Anyway, moving on. I don't know how to word this one, so I'm just gonna try. Not a fan of Gwyneth Paltrow. I'm not saying she portrays Pepper Potts poorly. I just don't like her acting. It's not, oh, I think she's a bad actress or anything like that. I don't enjoy watching her. I find her annoying. I don't know. I just don't like it. On a similar strain, I don't like Jennifer Lawrence. Like her acting or watching her, just a lot of things I just don't care for. But does that diminish my enjoyment of the Hunger Games series? Nope. But there are other actors and actresses that I don't enjoy watching that it does diminish my view of a movie. This next unpopular opinion is a little bit complicated. I'm not a huge fan of Marvel Cinematic Universe people outside of the Avengers. Correct me kindly if I'm wrong, but people like the Fantastic Four, the X-Men, Venom, they are technically a part of the MCU, and I think Deadpool as well. They're all owned by Disney now. Well, Marvel's owned by Disney, Deadpool's owned by Disney, which is so funny when you think about it. And the thing is, it's not that I don't like their stories. It's not that I think the movies are terrible. I just don't have an interest. Concerning the Fantastic Four, my understanding is that there has never been a Fantastic Four movie that did justice to their story. Most that I have talked to that really enjoy Fantastic Four said the movies didn't do them justice. So I'm like, oh, that's unfortunate. X-Men, some of them have Jennifer Lawrence in it. But I like Hugh Jackman. Mainly because of Les Mis and Greatest Showman. But I just don't have an interest in watching them. Deadpool, I'm very interested in his story. But my personal taste in humor is not going to align with that. I do not like dirty humor. Some could probably argue, but you like Guardians of the Galaxy and that's like frat boy jokes. I don't know. It's just, I don't, for some reason I find, I mean, Guardians is not all frat boy jokes, though it does have it, I won't lie. But Deadpool is like dirty, and I don't care for dirty. I'm not saying it's bad, I'm saying it's not my taste. I prefer witty humor. And I'm not saying that like, oh, I prefer sophisticated humor. This is delving a little bit too much into definition 1 opinion, but in my definition 1 opinion, dirty humor is cheap humor. As is frat boy humor, like fart jokes and things like that. I acknowledge that. But once it gets really dirty, I'm just like, I'm not interested. That's not a place I want my mind to go. I used to watch Whose Line Is It Anyway? But the older I got and the more I understood the dirty jokes. Innocent mind ruined. I didn't care for it. I just don't like dirty humor. So to sum up that unpopular opinion, I'm not a fan of Marvel Cinematic Universe stories or movies, whatever, outside of the Avengers people. Not saying they're bad movies, I just don't have an interest. And my last unpopular opinion, bringing it full circle from my first unpopular opinion, which was Hawkeye's my favorite. My least favorite, I love all the Avengers. My least favorite Avenger is Doctor Strange. I liked him a lot more in Infinity War. It was really fun to see how he and Iron Man would be. And I know the arrogance and everything is part of his character. I think it was just so off-putting for me when I watched that movie. I still enjoyed the movie, although I had to like rewatch certain scenes a million times, which I don't mind having to rewatch scenes to make, you know, my mind go. I enjoy making my mind work. I think that's fun. I don't want mindless movies all the time, you know? I'm not saying I hate this character, I don't. I love all of the Avengers characters, especially seeing them all in Infinity War. But if I have to pick a least favorite, it would be him. So what are your unpopular opinions concerning the Marvel Cinematic Universe? Let me know in the comments below, and if you enjoyed this video, give it a like and subscribe. And if you would like to get more out of the Geek Apprentice channel, like maybe joining my Discord server, getting early access to videos, getting extra unused content, like my awesome patron, Halo Justin, then head over to my Patreon, just patreon.com/thegeekapprentice, and check out the tiers. And if you're able to give a pledge, give stuff, then great. But if not, don't worry. I have videos every Wednesday and Saturday, which is something different. Relaxing reads, I read poetry, fun stuff. And that is all for today. Thank you for watching.